What's up, guys? Championship week is finally here. Congratulations if you made it. Brent and Dustin, Fantasy Smack Talk. Brent's a little gimpy. Yes, I did break my leg 3 places. Don't go to any laser tag places ever. They're all death traps. Never go. Dustin, who was our Week 15 Pick'em winner?
Todd from Virginia won this week.
More bad news.
We're not going to congratulate him because we don't really like him that much. We know the guy. But Todd, you're the big winner, so there you go.
All right, before we get into answering a bunch of forum questions, real quick note, there's a lot of banged up running backs this week. So if you're looking for a spot start, there's a ton of guys out there that you might want to consider adding. Or if you want to block who you're playing in the championship, you also might want to add these guys.
First guy, Rashard Jennings with Jacksonville. Whenever he's had a chance to touch the ball this year, he's looked great. If MJD misses this week, he could be a stud. Next, Lance Ball. If Moreno doesn't play this week, Ball, he's probably going to start. Nice matchup against Houston. We're not in love with him, but he could have a good game. Next, Tashard Choice. With Felix Jones a little banged up and Barber, it's probably going to be his first game back, but he probably won't get a ton of touches. Choice could have a monster game this week. And the last guy, Joseph Adai, he's got a great matchup. Who knows? He's a high-risk, high-reward guy this week, but if he comes in, starts out hot, we say he's going to get the ball the whole game.
All right, gonna answer some forum questions, rapid fire style. Gonna kind of keep it short. We got a bunch. Championship week. Dustin Robot Food wants to know Lloyd versus Houston, Britt versus Kansas City, Cindy Rice at Philadelphia, Malcolm Floyd at Cincinnati. Community says Brandon Lloyd.
I gotta agree with him on this one. It's too juicy of a matchup, even with Tebow throwing the ball. I think you go with Brandon Lloyd this week. All right, Brent, gross quarterback question from Brazilian writer. Kerry Collins at Kansas City or Mark Sanchez at Chicago? About 80% are saying Kerry Collins right now.
I agree with Collins. Sanchez, it came out today, he might not even start because he's been hurt. So I would definitely go Collins. If you're really bold, maybe Tim Tebow. What have we learned? Anyone that throws or catches the ball against the Texans is a good start. And even Tim Tebow's playing the Texans. All right, Dustin. KW Grand Drop Reg 808 wants to know Vincent Jackson at Cincinnati, Jeremy Maclin versus Minnesota, or Kenny Britt at Kansas City. Vincent Jackson won in the community with 43% of the vote.
This is very tough, and I am between Jackson and Maclin on this one, obviously. I'm giving the slight edge to Maclin. He's found the end zone a ton of times this year. He's been the more consistent guy. I do think Vincent Jackson has a huge upside, but I think Maclin's a much safer play this week. All right, moving on. We got one from Mikey B. Need you to pick 2 running backs out of these 3. Peyton Hillis versus the Ravens, Ray Rice versus the Browns, or Mendenhall versus the Panthers. He's going right now. More than likely, you did start Mendenhall against that juicy lineup. So Brent, pick one out of Ray Rice and Peyton Hillis.
I'm going to go with Ray Rice here, and I know what you're thinking. Hillis killed the Ravens last time, but he's been actually on a pretty big downturn lately, and I think the Ravens are going to stack the box. I really like Ray Rice in this over Hillis this week. All right, Dustin, last one. P-Jazz24 wants to know Peyton Hillis against the Ravens or Maclin versus the Vikings. That's tough.
This is a tough one, and I think you did specify this is a non-PPR league, so that doesn't really help that much. But I'm going with Maclin again on this one. The guy's been consistent. Vic is finding him in the end zone, and he's got a good matchup. Minnesota's pass D isn't that great. I'm saying Maclin on this one. It's studs, duds, and sleepers time. Let's start with mine, and San Diego's D is going to be my stud going up against the Bengals. They don't have T.O., and they're saying Ocho Cinco is only going to play in some of the snaps. Look for San Diego's D to dominate. My dud, Peyton Hillis against Baltimore. It's just a scary start. He's been banged up this week, and it's a good run D. If you got a good option on your bench, you might want to make the swap. And my sleeper, Anquan Bolden against Cleveland.
He can be a sleeper, he's been that bad.
At this point, the last handful of weeks, he's been pretty terrible. But he played really well against Cleveland early in the year, and I think he's a decent play this week.
All right, my stud. Week 1, he was my stud and proved me right. And I've loved him all year. It's Arian Foster going up against that terrible Denver run D. He's going to kill it again. My dud is going to be Matt Forte against that stout Jets run defense. And my sleeper is Danny Woodhead against Buffalo. Sure, the law firm's going to get the bulk of the carries, but I think they're going to be up by enough, and the run defense is so bad, I think Woodhead could actually have a pretty good game too.
All right, let's get into Mike's picks. His stud is Michael Vick for obvious reasons, going up against Minnesota. Vic's just been matchup proof this year. He's going to have a good game. His dud is Cedric Benson going up against my stud, San Diego's defense. Bengals are going to have a hard time moving the ball this week. And his sleeper, Tim Tebow against Houston. It
Wow.
wouldn't be the dumbest thing in the world to start him in a 1-quarterback league, but in 2-quarterback leagues, we think he needs to be pretty much universally started. He could have a good game.
Who would have met Tim Tebow making a sleeper list in this year? Shocking. All right, before we wrap everything up, just want to give a quick shout out to a few guys. We really appreciate everyone being active in the forums. It's really the bread and butter of the website. So again, thanks. Our trusted member Lincoln, big shout out. One of the original OGs, Bigger Boat, KW Grand Drop Reg 808.
We got Reese, Cuckoo 23, Gamebreaker 11, JXR 29, Colts fan for life. I mean, we can't name everybody, but we do really appreciate it. You guys are the reason why Smack Talk works. We'll definitely be back next year. We can't wait. And we're also doing basketball and baseball if you do that. So if so, we'll see you in those forums. And good luck if you're in the championship.